The greatest comeback in playoff history. 32 points up, yet they still lost. But how did the Houston Oilers actually choke so hard against the Buffalo Bills? The Oilers led 35-3 with 13 minutes left in the third quarter. And to make things easier, the Bills Hall of Fame quarterback Jim Kelly wasn't even playing. The Bills were relying on their backup QB, Frank Reich. They'd also be playing without Defensive Player of the Year, linebacker Cornelius Bennett. The Bills even lost their star running back Thurman Thomas in the third quarter. So you're telling me a backup quarterback needed 32 points in 28 minutes just to tie, and he actually did it. The final score was 41-38 in overtime. The biggest playoff comeback, or choke, depending on how you look at it, in NFL history. So why did this happen? Number one, complacency. A week prior, the Oilers beat the Bills 27-3. The situation was a bit different though. The Oilers sat at 9-6, and they needed to win to get in the playoffs. The Bills sat at 11-4, and they were already in the playoffs. Now up 32 points, the Oilers are thinking, man, this is too easy, and the first way to lose a lead is to get too comfortable. Let's not forget they were facing the two-time defending AFC champs, the Bills had home field advantage, and they had come off back-to-back Super Bowl appearances. Okay, they did lose both of those, but it's much further than the Oilers ever got. Number 2, Frank Reich is a comeback god. The only quarterback to ever lead comebacks of 30 plus points at college and the professional level. While playing for the University of Maryland, they faced the University of Miami at the Orange Bowl. They were down 31-0 at half. Their starting quarterback was injured, and Wright came in as a sub. He'd lead them to a 42-40 victory, which at one point was the biggest comeback in NCAA history. And then you have the miscues, which I think are amplified by the complacency. Firstly, the comeback began in the second half with a short kickoff, thanks to the wind, putting the Bills at the 50-yard line, and they would score on this drive. An onside kick followed, although according to head coach Marv Levy, he said it was a mistake, not an intentional onside kick. Thank you, football gods. Regardless of intent, they'd score on this possession. Don Beebe scored a 38-yard touchdown, making it 35-17. But he actually stepped out of bounds before catching it. The refs didn't see it though, and there was no replay challenge at the time. Now the Oilers were tightening up. A couple more touchdowns, and the Bills were only 4 points down, 35-31. In the third quarter, the Oilers didn't have a single first down. They got in their own heads and adopted the wrong strategy to seal the game. As Oiler cornerback Jerry Gray said, instead of trying to win the game, I think we kind of changed the mindset to not losing the game, and that's a big difference. When you play not to lose, you're probably going to lose. They went into prevent defense. Offensively, they didn't manage the clock well, they didn't run enough, and threw plenty of incomplete passes, which left a lot of time for the Bills to mount this comeback. In the fourth quarter, there would be another mistake, where Houston attempted a field goal, but the snap was fumbled, and the Bills would recover, and they would score on that drive, putting them up 38-35. Warren Moon would get them into field goal range though, and it would go into overtime. The Oilers would start off with the ball, and on the drive, Moon would throw an interception, but receiver Ernest Givens was held.
And Gibbons was absolutely manhandled, and they were able to get away with it.
However, as he says, the refs missed it, and the Bills got away with it. And to further the point of the Oilers getting into their own heads, Kevin Gilbride, the Oilers' offensive coordinator, recalled Warren Moon saying, "It was third down, we had to get it. If we didn't get it, we weren't going to stop them," after throwing his interception. But as Gilbride notes, we hadn't stopped them the whole second half, so he kind of forced it in there, but you just can't play like that. You got to believe that they're gonna stop them this time. The Bills would get in field goal range and win 41-38. Frank Reich threw 3 touchdown passes in 7 minutes, which cut the deficit to 35-31, and then he threw a couple more to give them the lead. And that's the greatest comeback in playoff history. Alright, thanks for watching.